Shalom, Kahal Yahweh, Bashimi Al Shai, Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders who came before them, who taught us his truth, and shalom and salutations to all the brothers out there to the word, truth and sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of day. My brother Yashawan back with the WW3 Daily update. I'm going to keep this one real succinct, if you understand. All right, we're just going to go into what's moving forward in Eastern Europe. All right, we're going to start with Revelation 11 and 14, where it mentions World War III by name. All right. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The third woe is talking about the Third World War. Here's the second woe. All right, and if we go back to 9, we get 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this is Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past from Revelation 9 and 1 to 9 and 11. It describes the First World War. Then it mentions 2 woes more hereafter. Okay, World War 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and if we go back to 8, Slovakia. We get all 3 of them. Revelation 8 and 13, and I beheld, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. All right, World War 1, 2, and 3. All right. Now, we're not going to break that down. It is what it is. And if you don't understand, then the Spirit isn't dealing with you. All right. So, what we are going to do, we're going to take a look at Military and Foreign Affairs Network. 19 hours ago, Russian-Ukraine War Day 12. We're going to listen to the voice of reason and see what he has to say.
You ever get that text?
That is not the voice of reason. This is.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, in part 2 of our continued coverage of the Russian-Ukrainian war, I wanted to cover some information that was being put out by the mass media that I felt that, at least from a military aspect, I should indeed address what is being said. So, if you look at some of the news programs that are being aired today, it would appear that both sides are trying to set up safety corridors where civilians can leave a variety of areas of combat areas throughout the country. And we're hearing reports that the Russians are requiring that some of the fleeing civilians retreat through their lines, their checkpoints, and the reason behind that is probably to identify fighting age males that may be trying to leave the actual combat zone, which could have been actual fighters leaving a certain area. Now that occurs within the confines of war, and obviously the Ukrainians would like their forces to, or not their forces, their civilians, to be able to peaceably leave cities such as Kharkov and other areas without going through Russian lines. And that is obviously very reasonable as well. Now, what is also being said is that minefields are being deployed along the civilian routes of escape from some of these cities. And right off the bat, the media is alleging that the Russians are deploying these minefields. And again, most people, when they think of a minefield, they think of an individual soldier and or group of soldiers going out and basically planting mines in a field or next to roads, or in some cases just laying them on the roadways. That obviously does occur, and soldiers do lay minefields at times. But the easiest way to deploy mines is through artillery delivery system. So what happens is you load your artillery gun up with a we call them fast cams in the U.S. military, and you fire your artillery round, which inside of this shell contains scatterable mines. And both the Russians and the U.S. military use these for both defensive and offensive operations. So if you have in case we'll for instance look at this Ukrainian attack or a Russian attack along these routes of advance. So if it were the Russians that had gotten wind of the Ukrainian attack, they're probably going to deploy some of these fast cams. They'll fire off artillery in the general vicinity in front of these advancing formations of Ukrainian armor.
Very, very interesting information there, wouldn't you say? Awesome. All right, so there's the Voice of Reason, Military and Foreign Affairs Network. If you want to watch the rest of that, that's from yesterday. Russia-Ukraine War Day 12 update. All right, let's look at a couple more of these little informational sites. This is Deep Journal Channel. Let's see if they got anything. This is a day ago. 2 Israeli F-16s hit near Damascus. U.S. sent thousands, this is 3 days ago, thousands of troops to Poland. Okay. It's north of it's in, is that in Syria? Good. Okay, so this looks to be a little old information. I like to see it all the way up to the hour. Check secret files real quick. Secret files is 3 hours. British volunteers traveling to fight Russians in Ukraine. How much of this is propaganda and how much of it is true? 6 hours. NATO allies send Ukraine 17,000 anti-tank missiles. We keep going on. And if any of it is true, this might just be a diversion, okay? Propaganda to get you to believe that this thing is more than it actually is because of what they're doing behind the scenes, using this as a distraction, if you will. Okay, so I think it's in yesterday. Let's look at military leaks. It's the same thing. Okay, 8 minutes ago, UK says it will back Poland if decides to send jets to Ukraine. And you know what Vladimir said? If anybody sends an air force to defend Ukraine, you will be dealt with, basically. Right? 3 hours ago, British volunteers traveling, same thing. Okay, same thing. Okay. All right, that's the only new thing. 8 minutes ago. And that's good enough for today. All right, as you can see, this thing is building, right? And what it's building up to is the Most High gathering all the armies into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Right now, they're in Eastern Europe, right? But it's going to escalate. It's going to escalate. All right, let's get Joel 3, and we'll go ahead and close up. Joel 3 and 2. This is God, Yahweh, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. The armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. He says, there will I judge them. He means, there will I destroy them. Okay? So basically, God is setting up an ambush, right? who are fighting each other right now, right? One set of allies is fighting another set of allies. But in the middle of World War III, they're going to be forced to reconcile their differences, right? And come together to fight Reagan. Put that into words. See if I can find it here. Let's watch Ronnie Reagan.
Universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Children of Israel, the sleeper cells, the elect of Israel.
War and the threat of war.
That was a beautiful video. Whoever did that, who did that? Look at this guy. Waleed bin Inam. Whoever the hell that was, he put those two things together. And he's on point, okay? So did you hear him say that they would put aside their differences? Well, let's get that out of the scripture. This is Second Ezra, we gotta go to 13. Second Ezra 13, right? And this is describing World War III. Okay? Start right here. And after this, Second Ezra 13 and 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all, start at 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men. This is World War III. Okay? They're fighting out of number. All right? And the angels. All right? Let's see. This is him. Second Ezra 13 and 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man, what man? One you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahweh, waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Who are the thousands of heaven? Well, the thousands of heaven are the angels, and here's one of them in the crosshairs of a Navy jet, if you will. Okay, that's one of the thousands of heaven right there, the angels. All right, and Ronald Reagan is saying, "Hey, we're going to have to come together to take out this threat." Okay? Continue. Okay? Jump down to 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, all right, were so afraid, yes, yet durst fight. So what this is saying is they were already out there fighting each other. Then they came together to subdue this threat. Okay, and let's prove that. We'll go down further. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to read from here, 33. Second Ezra 13 and 33. And when all the people hear his voice, whose voice? Okay. The one you ignorantly call Jesus and the angel, their voices are lasers. Right? Every man shall in their own land, meaning their nation, leave the battle they have one against another. So this is World War III happening, right? Before the angels and the one you call Jesus get into the battle, right? They're going to be fighting each other, and then out of the fourth dimension are going to come these things, chariots of Israel, in which the one you call Jesus is in a ship, and the angels are in their ships, and they're going to try to fight against the angels and Jesus. Okay? And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land, meaning their nation, leave the battle they have one against another. World War III. To do what? To fight against. And an innumerable multitude, that's all of them together, shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. Let's read Revelation 19. We're going to see the same thing. You see all the armies of the world coming together to fight against the angels and the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, whose name is Yahweh, coming back to save his people. Right? And I saw Revelation 19 and 19, and I saw the beast. Who is the beast? NATO and the EU that Vladimir is over there fighting. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth. Vlad is included in this. So they're all coming together. Right now they're fighting against each other in what will become World War III. And all of his allies, Xi, right? And their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Who sat on the horse and his army? Rider on the white horse. Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon it, just as he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, da-da-da-da-da. And his name is called the Word of, we know who the Word of God is, right? When we ignorantly called it. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Your white horse right? So with that, we're going to go ahead and close. We hope that the elect of Israel were edified, and with that, we're going to